Welcome back, friends, to the Global Macro Desk. Let's continue with our live trading experiment. I've been working on the CLI app. I think I have all the business logic down. I'm just working on its UI so we can just analyze signals together, right, on screen, interactively. But on the 21st and the 27th, so yesterday and last week, I had two signals and I executed on them. So for CME on the 21st, I bought 50 basis points at 208.26, which is fine. For CME, it looks like 1 year out, we're expecting a return of something like 18%, a median return of 18% with a best case of 128% and worst case of -18. But we can actually hold this. We can hold this for like our holding period for this should be more like 6 months, which is also an 18% return. But your risk is somewhere near your worst case is somewhere near -5.8. I've added this. I've added this position. We'll see how it goes. I'm fine with it, but let's talk about CPRT. CPRT, first I've heard of this company as well. Apparently does online auctions and vehicle remarketing services, which is all good and well. Their chart looks all right as well. But now the game engine actually spits out this PDF, which will be quite helpful for these videos, at least for today. And let's just look at the signal. So the red dots once again are your entry points, and you can see the entry points is a log scale chart. This is the index that the game engine produces, T19800, meaning there's 19,800 agents that are simulating this dynamic. And this is the same chart with your with the same signals, but with just a linear scale. For this signal, 1 year out, we're expecting a median return of something like 30%, best case 147%, worst case -2.4%. Now, the real risk in this position is in the first 3 months, because your first 3 months, your worst case can be something like a -20%, right? But if you extend your trading horizon out past 6 months, your worst case, your risk just drops quite significantly, all the way down to from a -5 all the way down to a -2.4, which is great. This is the distribution I'm expecting at, I believe, 6 months out or 9 months out. Or is it 6 months out? Yep, 6 months out and 12 months out, actually. This is, once again, the same. This is the table, but in chart format, visually useful. This is every single trade. This is a graph of every single trade that has occurred in the history of this, in the history of CPRT. And you know what? Looks pretty good, right? 1 year out, you barely have like one instance where your return was negative. I'm happy with this. We can add this to our portfolio. 1 year out, there's a 98% probability that your profit and loss will be greater than zero, right? So there's a 98% probability that you will make money on this trade, which I'm happy with. Interesting thing about this chart is that your expected return sort of peaks out just short of 9 months, right, on May 2025. So I think the trading horizon for this will be, let's say, 6 to 9 months. 9 months should be where we should be looking at exiting this position. But we can hold this out till 1 year as well. There's no, we're still formulating rules on exactly how to manage this, how to manage these individual trades, how to put them all together. How do you do it in entries, exits, etc. So these have been the two new trades. I ran the game engine model last night, and there weren't any real good trades for today. So there's no trades today, but I do have a portfolio update for you, right? The game engine portfolio is everything that everything we've traded since the 9th. And so far, after transaction costs, ERO is up 9.4%, CNR is up 3.6%, PXT is down 2.7%. CHD is down 1.3%. HUBB is up 1%. CME is up 2.35%. And this was a trade from the 21st. CPRT is up 2.23%. And like transaction costs adds up to like 1%. So CPRT did quite well. Well, it's had a couple good days. And CDW is up 5.4%. This is our portfolio so far. For 3 weeks worth of performance, it looks pretty good. The Hyperion all-weather portfolio is something I don't think I've mentioned this before, but it's a portfolio that that I've been holding for a very long time. So I think last year, the year before, I came up with this idea of like when you don't know what you're supposed to do. Let's say when you don't have signals, right? You need to be able to put your money somewhere, and that was a weakness that I had encountered a couple years ago. It's like, okay, I don't. There's no trades. There's no signals. What am I supposed to do? And so this portfolio is actually it's the oldest all-weather portfolio. This is the grandfather of all-weather portfolios. I think it's by Harry Brown. I think the guy's name is. I think it's from the 80s as well. It was developed during, the during the rough years of the 70s. And all it is, it's a long-term portfolio. You just buy and hold. But for us, it serves as a portfolio of maximum ignorance. When you don't know what you're doing, when you don't have any idea about what to do with, when you have no signals, no trades, you just put your money here. I think over 150 years, this thing averages out to, it annualizes at 6% with a vol of six, right? So it's somewhere that you could just put your money and not have to really worry about suffering a massive crash, right? So I've been holding this. I think it's been over a year now, and so far for SPY, um, it's uh, it's up 16%. TLT is up 2%. GLD is up 22%. BIL, which is cash, I think last I checked, it was yielding 4.9%. And XLE is up 50%. I've been holding XLE for a very long time, and this just sort of sits in the background. But these days, there's no real, like, I'm not worried about not having trades or not having we have more trades than we know what to do with. Speaking of trades, another update. So the last video, trading journal number 1, I'd mentioned our investment horizon was S&P 500, Dow Jones, and Nasdaq 100. That's like a little over 500 stocks. um, but since then, I've expanded our investment universe out to the Russell 1000. So that's basically the S&P 500, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and 500 other stocks. So there's like, I believe there's like 1,060 stocks that we're looking at every single day. And so now our main problem is to like, what signals shouldn't we trade as opposed to having no signals to trade or very few signals to trade. And that is the update for today. Hopefully, for next time, the CLI app is done so that we can do all of this interactively. But I think this is good enough as well for the time being. Thank you for your time. Have a great day, guys.